Spread the Floor, episode 47. We're here in the booth. I'm your host, Jacob Cooperman, joined alongside my co-host,
Nigel Petty Fernandez.
And the Mega Man, LeBron James, has gone down, unfortunately, with a high ankle sprain. He is out. They first said indefinitely, and then the time frame for both his and Anthony Davis's return was about 2 to 3 weeks, up to a month or 2 months. So nobody's really sure when these two guys are coming back. Obviously, that spells a little bit of doom and gloom for the Lakers. I think, personally, to just start this off, this kind of shows us that under LeBron and AD, I mean, this team it's talented. You know, I watched the Lakers and Phoenix game last night. Hey, listen, they're sort of talented, right? They got Montrezl Harrell.
Yeah.
I think, and I could get into the game in a second, but you know, when you strip away LeBron and AD, you got this game showed it. You got, because the Suns are a tough opponent.
That's true.
Right?
Yeah.
So they got Montrezl Harrell. They got THC, Taylor Horton-Tucker. They've got Kuzma. He had about I think he had about 13 points. Last night, and he had about like 13, 6, and 7 or something like that.
Yeah, my guy Kyle.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Kuzma can step up to the plate when need be, I think. Montrezl Harrell, THC, Kuzma. And besides that, man, you're starting to see that this Lakers team, I think LeBron, obviously because it's LeBron, gave him an identity.
Yeah.
And B on the court was really holding that team together. And I don't want to state the obvious.
Right.
Because I think you'd be a dummy not to know that. You know what I'm saying? When you're missing two of the best players in the league,
right,
that's gonna happen. But it's just something that I thought was apt to kind of include in here because, yeah, man, you know, this Lakers team is gonna struggle. But I do like the way that Montrezl Harrell and those guys. You know, Dennis Schroeder was another one I was thinking of. He had about 22 points. You know, those guys stepped up to the plate in a big way. And if they can manage in a West that's as competitive and as close as it is, if they could step up in a big way and keep this Lakers team alive long enough to get into the playoffs, I think hypothetically they should be all right because, you know, 2 to 3 months kind of puts them right near the playoffs.
Well, I mean, I'll explain to you why I'm worried is because, first of all, you know, what we're talking about is the whole Western Conference standings. It's really close.
Yeah,
I mean,
very close.
I think the number 1 seed to the number 8 seed is probably like 5 games,
yeah.
Something like that. It's something ridiculous. All the Lakers have to do is drop 3 games, and they're down at the bottom of the bracket. Not literally, but you understand what I'm saying. So my problem is that when you're missing 2 of your primary scorers, two guys who did so much, can the rest of them step up to do it? Is it possible? Yes, of course. Obviously, like you were talking about, you had a good point. They're all decent players. They're all players who know what they're doing. They're all players that have experience. But the problem is that, you know, saying they're going to go into it not having their leaders. You know,
right.
Not having people that are going to hold down the floor. You lose AD, that's huge because AD was essential to the Lakers' success.
100% defensively.
Right. And LeBron James can kind of carry the load. He's having an MVP season, which he always does.
Yeah.
And he's LeBron James. You know,
LeBron James.
He can direct traffic, no problem. Now you're missing both of those guys. Obviously, it doesn't need to be said, but
and the team right now, I just want to point this out, is not a playoff team.
No, absolutely not.
Can we be real?
But I mean,
maybe not even in the East. I don't know.
No, but they're high enough to where they know what I'm saying.
They have some yardage. They have some ground to play with. It's not like it's the end of the world for this Lakers team, but I think you're right. You should definitely be a lot more careful, and you know, Lakers fans should be a lot more worried right now, obviously. Oh, because they're two top guys around.
Listen, I think they're worried, and another reason why I'm kind of worried is because I don't know if you remember the LeBron injury, not last year, the year before, when LeBron first got to the Lakers and he had the groin injury.
Yes.
When it comes to LeBron James, they always say he'll be back before he's ready.
Because they need him there.
Yeah, and the problem with LeBron is that he will come back before he's ready. Now, the reason why I'm scared is because, you know, this may be 1 of 2 years left of LeBron's career where he has a championship window open.
I was going to say, I could spell doom and gloom for him.
And you know what? I know it's early. I know the injury just happened. We're not sure what's going to happen. The season's so good, but right now I'm looking at a Nets championship.
Nets championship, and I'm looking more importantly at an NBA, maybe not more importantly, but I'd say as a fan, I'm looking at this through the scope of, hey, an NBA where, and we could talk, again, we're going to talk about LaMelo later on, post-pod segment.
That's right.
But an NBA where LeBron, AD, LaMelo are all not playing is a much less fun watch for fans.
Yeah.
You know, it's gonna be significantly, like, think about it. LeBron is the NBA's main draw. That's why they say, oh, he'll be back. You know, don't even worry about it. There's they always make it seem less than it is in terms of injuries because they need him there. He's the cash cow.
Absolutely.
When LeBron's not there, simply put, the NBA is already losing ratings.
Yeah.
You know, we're not doing too hot
No.
in terms of the finals, in terms of viewership. What do you think having a guy like LeBron out? I mean, I'll tune into Laker games for LeBron. And like I said, this Lakers team without LeBron, it's not a fun team to watch. It's kind of it's a similar situation to the Celtics at the moment. The Celtics have been struggling because they don't have that identity.
Celtics are so disappointing this year. But no, absolutely.
It's the same thing with the Lakers, not to go off on too much of a tangent.
Of course.
They don't have that identity when LeBron is there. And the league almost has stripped some of its identity when LeBron isn't there.
That's why I hate people talking bad about LeBron is. But anyway, I don't want to get off subject.
They're all going to be sad when he's gone.
That's absolutely right. Enjoy the man while he has these few years left. And you know what? Something to point out is, like, this season, I don't want to say is almost turning out bad, but it's definitely coming out a little bit disappointing. I mean, think about the top three NBA MVP candidates. Yep. Two of them are out, Joel Embiid and LeBron James. Yep. Our Rookie of the Year, top candidate, out for the rest of the season. No hope of coming back.
It turned sour.
It's starting to look like an injury, one of those years that it's just like, you know, these guys are injured, so that's going to be a factor. And you know what I'm saying? Like the 2015 finals where Kyrie and Kevin Love were out. We knew that Warriors going to win that. It wasn't a fair matchup, and now we're looking at the same thing. We know that it's not a fair matchup. We knew the Lakers would be able to give the Nets a run for their money this year, but it's looking right now like it's not going to happen. If LeBron comes back before the playoffs, I'll be surprised.
I still think, obviously, with LeBron out in any sense, it's not going to be good, right, for any team. You know what I'm saying? For the Lakers, but I still do think that there are other teams in the fold, like the Utah Jazz, the Suns.
They're
Seems like CP3 is
up.
like a walking playoff spot. Someone said that on Instagram. I really do agree. That man is a walking playoff spot. Don't think he deserves the MVP, but he is a walking playoff spot. There are a lot of other teams right now that I think could give the Nets a run for their money, but with the Lakers being taken out of that conversation, there's a big piece. There's a big hole in that spot, in that conversation now. You know, because who do you have? Utah. I think Utah could give it the Nets a good run for their money. I'm trying to think of high-powered offenses that could stick with it and really elite defenses. You know, the Lakers were elite on both sides of the ball.
Nuggets
are kind of underperforming this year too. I mean, obviously Jokic is going crazy, but if you look at the entire team, it's just
but playoff Nuggets.
That is a different beast entirely. I will say, you know, Utah Jazz.
Yeah.
You got in the East, you got
Clippers.
Milwaukee up there. You got Clippers. It seems like with the Lakers out, you know, because we have always said it on this podcast, you know, the safeguard for the West and maybe even for the NBA is, you know, the Nets are doing really good, but still got to get through LeBron.
Yeah.
Oh, you take LeBron out of that conversation.
Who do they got to get?
Who do they got to go through? That's a question now. There's more questions than answers when LeBron is out, and that is what I am very, very scared of. Because, you know, like you said, the season is soured now.
Well, yeah. I mean, listen, the Nets acquired James Harden. That gave them a straight path to the NBA Finals. Let's be honest. Everyone's saying it. I truly do believe it. Anything could happen in the playoffs. That's why we love the playoffs. But, I mean, come on. Nets pretty much got to take it to the playoffs, to the finals. You know, and now it's just, like you said.
Blake Griffin, too.
Who can, I mean, Blake Griffin came back, his first points were a dunk. He hasn't dunked since 2019. It's ridiculous. The Nets are absolutely ridiculous. Almost unfair. I almost don't like it, right? They got a free ticket to the finals. Okay, fine. You know, blow through the East like everyone does every year, sure. Okay, then it's who can step up to the plate, and that's what we're talking about right now. Can LeBron, and even if LeBron and AD both come back before the playoffs start, are they going to be able to come back solid enough to pull off a championship run?
I think coming back is not the issue for them because I think they're two elite players with a lot of experiences under their belt. I mean, LeBron's been doing this for 18 years, 17 years now.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about his comeback. I'm worried about the timetable for his comeback. You know what I'm saying? When he's going to come back, it's going to majorly affect this team. How far they slide down in the rankings.
Yeah.
You know, because let's just say they slip to number 8. They're going to have to go up. Well, actually, I don't know what the play-ins now. But think about it. I'm just going to put hypothetically out, like if it were the regular playoffs, they slip down to number 8, then they'd have to go up against the Utah Jazz.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Well, I think they could if LeBron and AD were there.
Well, that's what I'm saying, though. It's like you have to take into account when these two gentlemen are coming back.
That's true.
And right now, there are too many questions.
Yeah, and how many games are they going to get before they have to actually jump into playoffs and start performing?
Yeah.
All right.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. Tune into the next episode.
Stick around for the post pod.
Yeah, stick around for the post
Talk
pod.
about LaMelo Ball. Talk about some other things, and thank you very much.
Thanks.